Hello dear students, greetings of the day. Sorry for the last video. Actually, the font memory got completely filled by the lengthy video yesterday. So this is the continuation of the last video. Yesterday we were talking about the convectional currents. So I was telling you about the convection, how the energy can be transferred by three ways: conduction, radiation, and convection. So in liquids and gases, convectional transferring of energy takes place. Okay. So I was telling you that okay, if in a beaker you put some paper, right, and then you put fire below that, then what will happen? The molecules, these molecules of water will experience heat energy, and they will get energized, and they will keep moving upside, right? They will carry this energy upside, and the molecules which were the cold molecules or the cool molecules of this beaker of water, right, will get energy, right? And when these energized molecules will come in contact with these cold molecules, then they will lose their energy will be shared, and again when after cooling down, again they will start sinking downside this way, sinking downside this way, right? So what will happen? This energy which is getting radiated from this source of heat, right, is getting transferred in this liquid through the material movement, the material which is water inside the beaker. These molecules are traveling, carrying this energy and transferring it towards the entire body, right? So one molecule is moving this way. So this process, like this type of movement takes place, which is called boiling of water, pani ka ubalna, right? So that is called what? Convectional current. So same type of thing is taking place inside the earth, right? I have told you yesterday that okay, this is core, this is mantle. Our earth can be divided, the interior of the earth can be divided into the three layers. The innermost layer, which is the centermost layer, that is called core, and and the middle one is called mantle, and the outermost layer of the earth is called crust, right? So I was telling you that in these two layers, mantle and core, the temperature is extremely high. Temperature ranges from 2000 degrees Celsius in upper mantle to 6 or 8000 degrees Celsius in the core, right? So because of this heat, what is happening? The rocks which are lying upside, the rocks of the crust, the lower crust, okay, the lower lithosphere, and the rocks in the upper mantle, this one mantle, okay, they get melted, okay, and they are in semi liquid form. Now you will say, sir, rocks are there in the core also, so why the rocks are not in molten form in the core, right? See, the rocks are not in the molten form in the core. Actually they are in molten form, but they behave as a solid because of the overlying pressure of these rocks, the material which is lying upside, okay, all these rocks are there, okay, the entire material is exerting pressure on the core, right? And because of that tremendous pressure, this core is behaving like a solid, okay, although it is, the temperature is very high and the material is molten inside, but because of the high pressure, it behaves like a solid. But here pressure is low, okay, and temperature is very high, okay, comparatively low. Here pressure is comparatively lower, okay, pressure is lower and temperature is also high. So I told you that if one rock is here, this is a piece of rock, you can say stone, okay, if it is given 1400 degrees Celsius temperature and above, it can melt, okay. So when these rocks of crust or of a lithosphere come here in the mantle, then they start melting, okay, and they remain in semi molten form in asthenosphere. This is the layer of the earth, asthenosphere, where the rocks remain in semi molten form. Now what is happening here? the thing which was taking place here in the beaker, same thing takes place here. The heat energy is transferred through the movement of material inside the asthenosphere. So these particles or material, these rocks, molten rocks, keep circulating, keep traveling like this, keep moving like this, okay, in circular form, right? A kind of convectional current, right? This convectional currents, the energy is flowing through the convectional currents here, okay, like this, circularly, right? So when this movement is taking place, this movement is the driving force of the movement of these tectonic plates, right? The question was that how these tectonic plates are moving. These tectonic plates are moving because of the force being exerted by the movement of this molten rocks inside the asthenosphere, or the heat which is exerting pressure on asthenosphere, okay. So when it is moving, so this rolling type of movement, okay, is leading to the movement of this tectonic plates, right? And when these tectonic plates move, then what happen? uh, then folding or faulting takes place, right? So I have told you about the source or about the reason, okay, why I have told you about the driving force, okay, which force is driving the movement of this tectonic plates, okay. Now I will tell you how it takes place. I have told you the reason. Now I will tell you how it takes place. So we were talking about two types, about plate tectonics, right? And in that, uplift and submergence, right? And here we were talking about epierogenic and orogenic forces, okay. So this epierogenic force is the uplift and submergence one force, okay, and orogenic is the horizontal movement. So let me tell you more clearly, just give me a second. Okay, so let us talk about orogenic force first, okay. I have told you that this convectional, because of this convectional currents, tectonic plates move. So suppose if one tectonic plate is moving this way, right, this is suppose T1. T1 we can say any tectonic plate, it may be Pacific, right, and here it is T2, suppose it is North American one, okay, something like that. If it is Pacific and it is North American one, T1 we are taking as Pacific major plate, Pacific plate, T2 North American plate, okay. So what is happening here? Suppose this plate is T1, this one plate is T1, right, and it is moving this side, and this one plate is T2, this is moving this side. You can mark it with a red color also, T2, right, T1 and T2, right. What is taking place here? Here horizontal movement of plates, horizontal movement of tectonic plates is taking place. This is the horizontal movement, right. Here tectonic plates are moving towards each other, and a tangential force, the force is being applied to the tangent to the surface of the earth, right, on a tangent to the surface of the earth. So this is horizontal movement. Here we are not talking about vertical movement, okay. So what will happen when these will come closer to each other? Then the crumbling of Earth's surface will take place like this, okay. The crumbling of Earth's surface will takes place like this. Like suppose this is Pacific plate, North American plate, and they are coming towards each other. Now what happened here? This type of crumbling will takes place, and mountains will be formed, okay. So this is what, this is the orogenic force. This is orogenic force or mountain building force. And what is happening here? The mountains are getting created. Getting or not? It is a type of diastrophic or large scale force because it is applying on very large area. Okay. Here, what is happening? The vertical movement is taking place. Okay. And when two tectonic plates, this is suppose T3 and this is T4, if they move apart from each other, then cracks will be generated here. Cracks will be, suppose it was the layer like this, then cracks will be generated here this way. Cracks will be generated. Clear? And when the cracks will be generated, what will happen in that case? Suppose two cracks are there. One is this one crack, these are the cracks. Okay, these are the cracks. This one is, these are the cracks. So what will happen here? If because of the faulting which is taking place, because these two T3 and T4 plates are moving away, okay, if these types of cracks are generated, these are called faults. Now if faults are taking place, then what will happen in that case? In that case, two things will happen. Either first of all, from here lava can come out. This is asthenosphere lava, or you can say magma which is inside the earth, means the molten rocks are there and they are under tremendous pressure and they are very much you can say restless to come outside. Okay, so whenever they will find a crack, okay, they will try to move outside and they can come, like suppose this is molten rocks, so they will try to come out this way, right? This way they will try to come out from here this way. And what will take place? Volcano will takes place, or fissure can takes place. Fissure means, volcano means the emergence of lava, or you can say molten rocks from a hole or crater, that is called volcano. And when it is emerging from a very long fault, okay, like from a line, something earth material is getting erupted, okay, so that eruption is called fissure. Means when the volcano, when the earth material or lava is emerging from a hole or a crater, okay, and fissure means when it is emerging from this fault, okay, this way. Clear? That is fissure. So this thing can takes place. If this is not taking place, then what else can be done, or what can happen other than this? Here the epierogenic forces will play their role now. Now what will happen? Now the vertical movement or vertical forces will be applied, right? The material which is inside here, okay, this material which is having tremendous pressure, where pressure is very high, okay, this will exert force on this block this way, right? And when it will exert pressure on this block, then it may be uplifted this manner, in this manner, okay, right? It will maybe uplifted this manner from here. In this manner. Clear? So like this, block mountains can be formed, right? Or formation of continents can takes place. Generally, the formation of continents takes place because of that type of epierogenic force, the force which is applied from inside earth in a vertical manner, vertically, okay, not horizontally, vertically. So here the vertical force is getting applied, okay, and because of that the formation of entire mountain is taking place, okay, or entire, you can say, continent is taking place. So that is why it is called epierogenic continental or epierogenic continent building force. So it is responsible for block mountains, for basin, for rift valleys and plains. Clear? This we will study in mountain section in detail. Clear? So now what I have told you, I have told you that how these major landforms are created. Okay, this is the only method. Okay, only method. Uh, you can say internal method by which the landforms are formed. This is here I have explained you about endogenic forces, how endogenic forces are created. The forces which are generated from inside the earth are called endogenic forces, and we call these forces as diastrophic forces also, because it is responsible for distorting the earth surface, right? Distorting means deshaping or reshaping the earth surface. That is why it is called diastrophic. These endogenic force act on very large land mass, not a small piece of land. Okay, it act on very large piece of land. Clear? And we can categorize these endogenic forces into two categories: epierogenic and orogenic forces. Epierogenic force is responsible for continent building. And how epierogenic force is different from orogenic force? Epierogenic force is applied vertically upward, and orogenic force is applied horizontally. Okay, right? So in epierogenic force, continents are formed. Why? Because the internal material of the earth, because of the pressure from inside the earth, the surface of the earth is raised. Like here it is getting raised because it has been cracked from here, and that's why this material can be raised upside this way. Clear? So in that manner continents are formed on very bigger, very large landmass, right? If the uprising of very large landmass is taking place, okay, then that is called a continent only. Okay, if a small portion of land is taking place, then that is a block mountain, you can say. Okay, so block mountains, rift valleys, right, plains and basins and continents are formed by epierogenic forces. Then second type of endogenic force is orogenic force. Orogenic, oro means mountains. Okay, so these are responsible for mountain building. Okay, and these are applied in horizontal manner. Why? Because here the earth material was moving in a convectional loop. Okay, because of that convectional loop, some type of movement is taking place inside the earth, and which is leading to the movement of these tectonic plates. Okay, still these tectonic plates are moving. The map of world which we are having today, in which they have shown the 7 continents and their position, actually these continents were not at the position at which they are right now. Okay, they, it is said that once they were very far away from each other and they came towards each other, right? And one only one landmass was created, which was called Pangea, right? And then later on this Pangea also get divided into 7 continents. Okay, and their location of these continents was not same as it is today. Okay, they have changed their position, so still they are changing their position. Okay, still they are changing their position. The Indo-Australian plate is still colliding with the Eurasian plate, and as a result the Himalaya mountains are becoming higher and higher. Okay, the Himalaya mountains are the young fold mountains, and their height is increasing, okay, by very millimeters or centimeters in 10 years or 20 years. Okay, by that much height but it is increasing. Okay, still the Himalaya mountain is young fold mountain, and its height will be increasing till these two plates, you can say, move towards each other. Hmm? So means these tectonic plates are changing their position. Clear? So that type of mountains or landform which is formed by the movement of the tectonic plates horizontally, okay, that force is called orogenic force, right? Orogenic force is applied horizontally. It is endogenic force which is responsible for making of the fold mountains. Uh, right? So what, let us recapitulate what we have studied. We have studied the chapter 5 landforms of the earth, first lecture. In that we have studied about the landform. Landform is a form, shape, configuration of solid part of the earth, okay, means surface of the earth, uh, solid part of the earth or surface, example mountains, plateau, plain, etc. And there are other landforms also other than these major landforms, okay, like gorge, canyon, Inselberg, and sand dunes, moraines. Okay, and we will study about these landforms in the last lecture, in next lectures. Okay, then we have studied about the causes, right? There are the three causes of this land formation. First is plate tectonics, uplift and submergence. These plate tectonics, uplift and submergence are endogenic forces, and then exogenic force. Clear? Now endogenic force is endogenic force is endogenic force, it is internal process. Exogenic force is external process. The things, the force which is generated from inside the earth is endogenic force, and that is responsible for the formation of the land or giving various kinds of shape to the earth surface. That is called diastrophic or large scale force. Endogenic force are of two types, epierogenic and orogenic. Epierogenic is continent building force. Block mountain basins, rift valleys, plains, continents are built by this epierogenic force, which is applied vertically upside or vertically downside. Okay, if it is getting applied upside, that is called upliftment. Okay, upliftment. And if the landmass is sinking downside, okay, that is called submergence. Okay, this is, here it is upliftment. Upliftment, right? But if condition was not like this, if it was in this manner, right, and here because of the high amount of rocks and the earth material, if its pressure, the pressure which is getting applied downside is become more than the pressure getting applied uh, from here astrosphere upside, okay, then what will happen, it will sink downside, in which case, if this pressure, the pressure which is P1, and this is pressure P2, here it is acting downside, here it is acting upside. Okay, so if P1 is greater than P2, then what will happen, submergence will take place. Submergence will takes place. What will happen, this land mass will sink downside, it will come downside here, okay, this manner, and its height will be decreased like this, it will become like this is called sinking of landmass or submergence. Okay, so this will takes place. Clear? That was about epierogenic continental force. And orogenic force, when the force which is applied horizontally, okay, when two tectonic plates move each other, two tectonic plate either will move towards each other or will move away from each other or will slide past each other. Okay, in that type of movement, mountains, fold mountains or fault mountains are created. Okay, that was all about the first lecture. Now in next lecture we will study about the formation of in next lecture we will study about a particular type of landform, that is mountain, right? Then next lecture we will be having third lecture about plateau, and then fourth lecture about plains, right? And the fifth lecture will be about all these other landforms. Okay, thank you so much.